Hello everybody, this is Harley from Garden FL, and in today's video we're going to be planting our 25-gallon seedling Ilama tree. So let's get started. So today is September 21st of the year 2022, and recently I purchased this llama seedling in a 25-gallon pot. As you see, this is the beautiful llama. This is about the girth of it and bifurcated. And actually, when I purchased this, it had 2 flowers on it and they fell off, I believe, due just because of like the transplant shock, it moving from Redland, Florida to Bradenton, Florida. So it's quite the move. So this is technically the back area of my yard, and I have a bunch of Annonas planted, such as like PPC, cherimola, Nadai, and Vietnamese and Thai sugar apples. So as you see, the llama seedling is gonna go right here. It's gonna have its own row just because this is also like a driveway right here. So I do plan to keep it pretty compact, and I'll trim it as I need to, you know, if the branches start going to other areas, but it pretty much has this whole front area to kind of really branch out. So we'll see. It's a really beautiful llama. I like the red stems, just the beautiful leaves on the Annona diversifolia. Alrighty everyone, so let's get planting this llama, and we're gonna mulch it too. So right here we have the llama seedling, and I already cut the pot. Now this is the most vital part because once I place it, it's 25 gallons, so it's pretty heavy. So I don't want to move it too much because I don't want to damage the roots once I already place it, but I already calculated it pretty much on where I want it, how we're gonna do this. I think I'm just gonna lift it straight out of the pot. There's always a lot of calculation when you're planting a tree, a fruit tree, especially if it's one of your favorite ones or one of the cooler ones, you know, because you always want to give it the best chance it has, and the best placement too. You don't want it to look ugly in your yard. Doing my calculation. So here I am right next to the llama seedling. As you see, it stands well over 8 feet tall. I'm about 6'1". And this is the position I want it to be in. Obviously it's gonna go in this hole right here, but alrighty, let's transfer it. All right, I like how it looks as far as position wise. Hopefully I can just lift it right up. Okay, so that wasn't too hard actually. The soil is pretty dry, so that helps it a lot. But I planted it way too low because some of the soil actually stuck. Some of the soil was actually not rooted into on the bottom, and so we're actually just gonna dump that into to kind of make it even, because I had perfectly calculated it to be not too deep. If you guys didn't know, whenever you're planting any fruit tree, always better to plant higher than lower, and as you're planting too, things will always sink a little bit. So always when you're planting, plant a little higher than planting lower, because things will sink as you water them and as they kind of get adjusted, you know. So we're gonna move this one more time. Kind of lost how I liked it, but okay. So as you see right now, I'm just kind of reshaping how I want the llama to look like in my front yard, and completely doing it how I didn't want it. Okay. The good thing is the soil's dry, so it's really easy to move around compared to if it was wet and icky. The soil would be harder to kind of move. So I guess that's another thing. I didn't water it about a day, 2 days before to plant it because I didn't want to deal with the heavy soil. So that kind of looks good. I'm just gonna readjust it a little bit to fit my eye. Alrighty, it's sitting a little weird. It's a little oddly elevated, so I'm just gonna add some dirt to it, add some soil, and make it elevated once again. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna add a little bit of soil under the plant because it's a little uneven. There we go. So here we have the llama seedling finally in the ground. I still have to put the soil in, but I actually just watered it a little bit. But I want to give you a kind of a perspective of where exactly it's planted. As you see, it's actually planted right next to a cherimola, Thai yellow or Thai golden sugar apple. We have PPC, different sugar apples over there. So it's fairly surrounded with other Annonas. So when it comes time to pollination, if it naturally pollinated, you know, it has a lot of atemoyas and sugar apples to choose from. So we're gonna finish planting it in the ground. So we're actually just gonna finish up moving the soil back to the llama. And like I said earlier, it's always better to plant more upper than lower, so higher ground. So I purposely planted this llama so the root ball is actually a little higher. And I just think the llama probably is the most beautiful Annonaceae fruit tree to have in your yard. And the reason why I say that is because the leaves itself are just so aesthetically pleasing to look at. And the fruit is probably one of the most beautiful looking Annonaceae fruits there is. So, alright everyone, let's water this llama seedling in, and then we're gonna mulch it. Alrighty y'all, so just gonna give it a quick water in. And I've already been watering this llama in as I planted. You know, like once I got it in, I watered it. And even before I planted it in the hole, I actually watered the hole, which is known as a mudding, which is a good watering technique. So the roots are, once you plant something, it's kind of hard to get the root ball all wet once you already plant it, especially when you're planting bigger plants like this. So it's better to always wet it beforehand, mud it in, and you can stick it in there so the roots are nice and moist. And it will definitely help the whatever tree you're planting, in this case this llama, it'll help it not get as shocked, you know, because trees do experience some shock when they are planted from pot to the ground. So it just helps it a little bit kind of readjust. Beautiful, beautiful Annona diversifolia. Alrighty, so let's get mulching, which is the next part. We're gonna want to make sure this llama tree is well mulched. And by mulching it, we're also gonna keep it well moist. The roots are always gonna be moist, and they're gonna be happier overall. So let's go. So when it comes to growing fruit trees in Florida, you will need to supplement your soil with mulch. And what mulch does over time is it will break down in the hot Florida sun, and it will actually provide nutrients to your fruit tree's roots in a way that's much easily absorbed by them. And it'll also just overall improve the soil that it's in, the sandy soil. So, and not only that, but mulch actually provides a load of other benefits, such as it keeps the weeds away, it keeps the water from the soil that you keep the mulch over from evaporating, especially in the hot sun like this. So your tree will have to be watered less by you, and it will overall be happier. And I definitely have been able to increase my just like the way I mulch much easier with the tools I use, such as my gorilla cart that I use in this clip. My gorilla cart's really good because I can actually load this thing up with a lot of mulch. I can actually move it around with ease, and I'm able to turn it around like really easily and pivot with it like almost any way I want. It's like a little tow truck. And then the really cool like tipping handle makes it really easy for me to just like dump the mulch and continue mulching on my fruit tree. So if you guys don't have one of these, I definitely recommend to get a gorilla cart. Alrighty everyone, so what's next is I just have to mulch this in and make it look pretty, but it's pretty much, you know, already mulched. I like the mulch to look a certain way and certain style, but overall I just like to keep it like more than 3 inches of mulch on top, and that will last about half a year when it's in the full sun like this. And I like to kind of spread it a little thin on top, just so when I water, if you mulch too high and you water, sometimes the water gets stuck in the mulch. So you just want to spread it thin, but also, you know, make it high too. You don't want to make it too thin where you don't spread anything. But overall, I just really like, the differences mulch makes versus a tree or an Annona tree that's not mulched, because I'll tell you right now, the difference is outstanding in the way the tree grows. It's just, and as the soil breaks down, it's like becomes virgin soil, which fruit trees just love, the bugs love. So if you guys don't have mulch, or if you're like debating whether you should mulch your fruit trees, or maybe you are mulching, but maybe you just aren't putting enough mulch and enough volume of mulch to the point where the tree actually appreciates it and utilizes from it. So, and like I said, I just like to do a nice mulch ring around it so the grass doesn't compete, and it has a nice drip line kind of around the tree. And I also pull the mulch away from the base of the trunk too. That's something I do. I always pull it away just because you don't want any decomposing material too close to the base of the llama tree, or else it could also rot out your trunk. So guys, this is it, my beautiful llama. Alrighty everyone, so this is how it looks. The llama when it's planted finally in the ground, mulched, watered, and everything. So I think it looks really good just in its new home. And I can't wait to do an update video in like a year, 3 months now. You know, who knows? Once it starts growing, once it starts flowering again, I'll definitely update you guys on the beautiful llama. Thank you guys for watching this video of me planting my llama seedling that I got from my friend Vincent Bodner in a 25-gallon pot. Well, now it's in the ground. So thank you guys so much. My name is Harley from Garden, Florida, and I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye now.